Hello students, in this video you will learn about effect of slip on magnitude of rotor induced EMF, effect on rotor resistance and reactance, effect on rotor power factor, effect on rotor current. First we will see effect of slip on magnitude of rotor induced EMF. So at standstill position, the induction motor, the slip will be is equal to 1. The slip when it will be equal to 1, when n is equal to 0, the motor is not running, motor is at standstill position, then slip will be is equal to 1. So here relative speed is maximum and maximum EMF gets induced in the rotor. When the relative speed ns minus n is the relative speed, it is maximum. So then rotor induced EMF will be in maximum. So that's what here we are assuming E2 equal to rotor induced EMF per phase on standstill condition. So here induced EMF is decreases and magnetic field will be decreases. Here rotating magnetic field decreases and hence induced EMF in the rotor also decrease. So it is proportional to the relative speed. So rotating magnetic field decrease, then the induced EMF will be decreased. So these two will be relative, these two will be proportional. So here one more induced EMF E2R. So E2R is the rotor induced EMF per phase in running condition. So running condition induced EMF you are assuming E2R. So here E2 so E2 is here we are assuming, so E2 is proportional to ns. So here E2, that means E2 is rotor induced EMF per phase on standstill condition is proportional to synchronous speed. So rotor running, then motor will be rotated. So here n will be, and then speed of the rotor will come. So ns minus n is proportional to E2R. So E2R is proportional to ns minus n. So this two is we are considering here. So by taking the fraction, by taking the divided by of these two proportionalities, so here E2R by E2. So E2R is n proportional to ns minus n, E2 is proportional to ns. So you are taking the relation ns minus n by ns, ns is equal to what we are taking. So what we are taking, that is equal to slip. So E2R by E2 is equal to S. So E2R by E2 is equal to S. From this relation what we can write, E2R by E2 is the slip. So E2R is equal to S into E2. So from this relation what we can write, so E2R rotor induced EMF per phase in running condition is equal to the multiplication of slip and rotor induced EMF per phase on standstill condition. The magnitude of induced EMF in the rotor also reduced by the slip times the magnitude of induced EMF at standstill condition we can write. So this is about effect of slip on magnitude of rotor induced EMF. And we will move to the next one, effect on resistance and reactance, rotor resistance and reactance. Here, so the rotor winding has its own resistance and inductance. In case of squirrel cage rotor, the rotor resistance is very small, generally neglected. So rotor does not have, the squirrel cage type rotor will not have, but slip ring induction motor, slip ring type rotors will have high resistance. So since we will add the external resistance to the slip ring, that's what the resistance will be high. R2 is equal to rotor resistance per phase on standstill. X2 is equal to rotor resistance per phase on standstill. Rotor resistance as we are assuming here. And at standstill, Fr is equal to F, since slip will be equal to 1. So here let L2 is the inductance of the rotor per phase. X2 is equal to 2 pi R L2. So 2 pi R 2 pi FRL2 is equal to 2FL2 ohm per phase. So reactance per phase. So R2 is the rotor resistance per phase. Now running condition Fr is equal to S into F. So slip will be there. So slip will not be equal to 1 at running condition. So using that relations, X2R is the reactance at running condition is equal to 2FRL2. So that is equal to 2FS into L2. So 2FS into L2. Since FR is equal to S into F. So since FR is equal to S into F, here we have to substitute. S into F here we have to substitute. So that is equal to S into 2 pi F L2. So 2 pi L2 what we can write? So reactance of the rotor. So X2R is equal to S into X2. So E2R is equal to S into E2, we got it right in previously case. So similarly here X2R is equal to S into X2. So where X2R is equal to rotor reactance in running condition, hence we can write rotor impedance per phase as R2 plus J X2 ohm per phase. So at standstill this is the impedance, rotor impedance, and magnitude, in terms of magnitude we have to take root of R2 square plus X2 square ohm per phase. So Z2R is equal to rotor impedance in running condition, so that will be equal to, so X2 in place of X2, so we have to substitute X2R or S into X2. So at running condition impedance will be different, R2 plus J X2R will come. Running reactance we have to consider. In standstill condition X2 we have to consider. So this is the magnitude. So in magnitude way R2 square plus S into X2 square ohm per phase. So this is about effect on rotor resistance and reactance. So in next one we will see effect on rotor power factor. So from the rotor impedance we can write the expression for the power factor of the rotor at standstill and also running condition. So both the conditions we have to consider, one is standstill, other one is running condition. The impedance triangle of on standstill condition is shown in figure 1. So pi 2, cos pi 2 is the rotor power factor and standstill, R2 by Z2. So resistance, the ratio of resistance to impedance is called power factor. Similarly here also, so cos pi 2 is equal to R2 by Z2. So Z2 is root of R square plus X2 square, the magnitude. So at running condition, Z2 will become a Z2R. Z2 will become a Z2R. So cos pi to R, running power factor is equal to R2 by Z2R. So Z2R is equal to R2 square plus S into X2 square. So this is how we can calculate the power factor on rotor on standstill and running condition. So here, so rotor winding is inductive, power factor is always lagging in nature. So one more is effect on rotor current. So rotor current I2 is I2 we are assuming is the standstill condition. I2 what we are assuming, standstill condition rotor current. So rotor current what we can write, E2 by Z2. So Z2 is R2 square plus X2 square. Similarly, so at running condition, so what are the changes will happen? Z2 will become a Z2R. Z2 will become a Z2R, and voltage E2 will become a E2R, and I2 rotor current I2 will become a I2R. I2R will come. So I2 is the standstill current, I2R is the running current. So E2R by Z2R. So E2R is S into E2 we can write according to previous relations. So E2R is S into E2 divided by Z2R. Z2R is R2 square plus S into X2 square, X2 whole square. So this is the reactance. See here, here what we can say that, so what we can say that, so pi 2R is the angle between E2R and I2R, so which decides the power factor in running condition. So either it is lagging or leading, which decides the pi 2R. Okay, so this is about effect on rotor current. Here we have a figure 3. So this is a figure 3. So this is a figure 4. So we can get equations from this one. So standstill condition, this one, figure 3 shows the standstill condition, and figure 4 shows the rotating condition, rotating condition. So these are the figures we can get the current, I2 current we can get applying the KVL method. So KVL method already I have explained I2 and I2R. Okay. So this is about effects on rotor EMF and resistance and reactance, power factor and current. And next video we will see torque equation and problems on torque equation, condition for maximum torque. So these are topics we will discuss in next video. Okay, thank you everyone.